everyone, and welcome to the webinar on the IHI Call 11 on AI-powered signal detection in pharmacovigilance. My name is Nassima, and I'm going to be your moderator today. And before we start, I just want to share some information with you. If we move to the next slide. Firstly, we are recording this session and we will be publishing it on the IHI website. We will also publish the presentation slides. The call has been launched last week and all the links and details of how to apply have been published on the IHI website and the Funding and Tenders portal. Another important point, if you have any questions, please use the chat function on the right corner of your screen. We will get them at the end of the presentations. Today, we will have two presenters. So we have Nathalie Seignoret, who is Senior Scientific Project Manager for this topic, and she's going to kick off with the presentation. And we also have Johari from Sanofi, who is going to present the topic itself. We also have online Marie Roche from Sanofi and Desmond Barry, our legal officer. So now I will hand over to Nathalie.
Thank you very much, Nassima, and good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, all of you, wherever you are in the world. And today's webinar will cover the introduction to the IHI program, the call topic 3, that will be presented by JJ in a minute, the proposal, solution, and evaluation, as well as the tips for writing a successful proposal. We will not cover the rules and the procedures, since there will be next week a fully dedicated webinar on rules and the procedure. So I will certainly invite you to register to that webinar next week. Before we kick off with this very interesting topic that is part of the Call 11, it's important to remember what is the Innovative Health Initiative. We are a partnership between the European Union, represented by the European Commission, and the Healthcare Industry Association.
Sorry, Nathalie, to interrupt you, because we get some messages that they cannot hear you properly. Let's do a quick check on your headset. Sorry for this. Yeah, we have some messages that is very difficult to hear. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this is better. Okay,
it's better.
Sorry.
It's better.
Okay,
Yep.
Great. Sorry. So I don't know where I should restart, but maybe let's go again with what is the Innovative Health Initiative. We are a EU partnership between the European Union, represented by the European Commission, and the Health Industry Association, represented by CROCIR, that cover the medical imaging, radiotherapy, health ICT, and electromedical industries, EFP1 and Vaccines Europe, that are representing the pharmaceutical and the vaccine industry, Europa Bio, representing the biotechnology industry, and MedTech Europe, that represent the medical device industry. So in this public-private partnership, what we have as an objective is to turn health research innovation into real benefits for the patients and society, to deliver safe, effective health innovations that cover the entire spectrum of care, so from prevention to diagnosis and treatment, in particularly in areas where there is an unmet public health need. And one final big objective that we have under this public-private partnership is to make Europe's health industry globally competitive. So our IHI projects are created via open competitive call for proposal. And again, we have just launched our Call 11, and this is where now applicant consortium can compete and propose and submit their proposal, their short proposal. We are cross-sectoral public-private partnerships, so we leverage the contribution from the industrial partners, from the industry association that I just mentioned before, if relevant, contribution from contributing partner, and the public funding via the European Commission through the Horizon Europe that will go to whoever are beneficiary eligible to receive funding. Now, we do have our strategic research and innovation agenda that really is the key document in order to give the focus and give the direction on where our topics should tackle in terms of challenges. The focus is on cross-sectoral approaches to facilitate the creation of new products and services to prevent, intercept, diagnose, treat, and manage disease, and foster recovery more efficiently. So the goal of this is to lay the foundation for the development of safer and more effective healthcare products or solutions that respond to unmet public health needs. That's really important and can be implemented into the healthcare system. Again, very important. But we need to remember that the research that we are conducted under our IHI project remain at the pre-competitive level. And here in this slide, you have the link to the document where you can find more information on the strategic research and innovation agenda. So how does IHI work? And especially a two-stage procedure, which we have for this call 11. So basically, we had some texts that were developed and mainly driven by the industry needs and the lead, and here in this case, JJ. But we had quite an iteration in order to get some input on these topics. And once they've been agreed by your governing board, these have been published. So that was last week. So the first stage is really where we are calling for potential applicants to submit their proposal and to gather and build applicant consortia that can be composed of academics, hospitals, regulators, patient organizations, small and medium-sized enterprise, for-profit legal entity, whoever is needed in order to deliver and to have the necessary expertise in order to address the goal objective. There will be an evaluation of this proposal, and whenever we finish this evaluation, the first rank proposal will be invited to the second stage. And in this second stage, the applicant consortium, so the winning applicant consortium, will merge with the pre-identified industry consortium in order to finalize the proposal and to submit the full proposal that will go again for evaluation. And if everything goes well, then we will move to the granting phase where we finalize the grant agreement, consortium agreement from the side of the consortium in order that we can start the project. So that's in a nutshell how the procedure works. But now it's time to dig into this very, very important topic on the artificial intelligence-powered signal detection in pharmacovigilance. And JJ, I give you the floor and just tell me when you want me to move the slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Natalie, and thank you everyone for attending. My name is Johari, and as Natalie said, please call me JJ. I head epidemiology and benefit risk at Sanofi. And I'm here presenting this topic not only on behalf of Sanofi, but on behalf of all the participants, industry partners who have worked with us on this topic. So, and thank you all for your help in developing the topic text. If you go to the next slide, please. I will start with the reason as to why this topic is very important and timely. So first, we know that spontaneous reporting system has been the cornerstone of signal detection and pharmacovigilance for a very long time. It's a very good system. It's very useful, but at the same time, it has limitations. It's not very accurate. It's not very sensitive. And this is the reason why this topic is important, because maybe we could improve it. Now, let's start with another one. Spontaneous report is one type of real-world data. There are other types of real database, including EHR. Now, I highlight EHR because electronic health records have been used for a very long time for signal assessment or signal evaluation, but not so much for signal detection for many different reasons, including the unavailability of the technology to do it. Having said that, there have been studies on evaluation, how to use EHR for signal detection. And FDA actually has been using it, using FDA Sentinel, which is collection of different EHRs for signal detection as well. But the method used in signal detection by the FDA is not AI. It's the more traditional epidemiology and statistical methods. So I'm highlighting EHR because of many strengths that it has, but it doesn't mean that that's the only one that we could evaluate for signal detection. There will be others as well, and I will touch on that later on. The third reason is the AI use has been increasing in many sectors, in many areas, including in the pharmaceutical industry, including in pharmacovigilance. Now, the application of AI in pharmacovigilance has been so far mainly on the case assessment stage, ICSR stage, not so much on signal detection, not so much on risk management. There have been studies of AI on signal detection, and Sanofi has published 4 papers on this topic, but the result from the pilots have not been very optimal. So this is another opportunity how to improve it as well. So AI is a very promising tool or method or approach when we use different databases, and also including the untapped databases. What I mean by untapped over here is emerging data sources that come with the new advancement in digital and technology, including social media, genomics, and so on and so forth. So these are the 4 reasons as to why this topic is very important. Go to the next slide, please. Now, we know that this topic is AI-powered signal detection using pharmacovigilance, but your question will be, what exactly the scope, right? So the first one is we will evaluate, select, optimize, and test AI algorithm using different data sources that I mentioned before. Now, I want to emphasize on test or evaluation, because whatever we develop, whatever we find will be useless if we don't know how it performs. So what we mean by testing over here is we will employ use cases to see whether it be AI, generative AI, machine learning, and so on and so forth, perform as we want it to perform, telling us the truth if there is a signal, and don't give us too much false positive if there is no signal. Now, AI is one aspect of it. We will also evaluate different data sources, including traditional data sources, which include spontaneous reports, electronic health records, registries, and emerging data sources. What I mean by emerging is the one that is newly developed because of the digital technology, social media, genomics, and so on and so forth. Third, we will develop AI for algorithm for risk prediction. So there is a distinct difference between signal detection, which is to detect signal that currently exists now, and risk prediction, which basically to predict what risk that might come up, that might arise in the future. Fourth, create recommendation for implementing AI-powered system in real-world scenarios. Given our experience, given the results, given the deliverables from the 1, 2, 3 scope, we will create the recommendation of how to implement it as well. Now, many of you have heard that, AI could give us wrong information if we develop it in the wrong way, if we don't give them enough information. So we will also develop recommendation of human in the loop and human on the loop in the pharmacovigilance to see how human could control the use either in the system or on top of the system. We will also develop templates and tools for practical implementation and for sustainability, and to improve, to optimize impact of the work. We will also create training plans and education materials for the public. Next slide, please. So given the scope, these are the expected outcomes. Number one, the evidence-based and practical guidance on AI use for signal detection and other PV applications. Number two, AI-powered algorithm for faster and more accurate signal detection. So we will have guidance, we will have algorithm for signal detection, and we will also have algorithm for risk prediction, which I mentioned to you before, is different from signal detection. We will have comprehensive list of data sources where AI method could improve signal detection. There are many data sources and we cannot afford to ignore any of them. So we will evaluate all of them, but the value of each data sources may be different. So we will have the list of that. Recommendation for implementing AI-powered system in real-world scenarios. So this is again in terms of implementation in industry and in other areas. We will have tools and templates for practical implementation. Keep in mind, recommendation is one thing, it's theories, it's deliverables, but tool and template is actionable right away, how we could use the tool. And then last but not least, training guides and education materials. Next slide, please. So we know the reasons by now. We know the scope and we know the objectives, the deliverables. And what do the impacts that we expect from this? Number one, if we have a more accurate and faster signal detection system using AI, using different data sources, then we will improve drug safety through speed and accuracy in identifying adverse drug reaction earlier and more accurately, which means we could have more proactive risk management through improved assessment and prediction as well. Remember, if you detect signal accurately, then the signal most likely is the true risk. And then we could also predict risk in the future. Then the whole risk management system will be much improved as well. Now, if we could improve risk management through more effective and earlier, then patient safety will also be improved. Now, those are the impact in terms of more accurate system, improved risk management, improved patient safety. But keep in mind, this is the whole process. It's not easy in the whole signal detection assessment. The product of this project will also improve decision-making of the whole products, combining benefit and risk, because we will have a faster, more accurate informed decision-making. Also, AI-powered system promise automation. This means that we will increase efficiency and rapid processing of all different data sources through automation as well in different pharmacovigilance tasks. Now, keep in mind, we are operating in pharmacovigilance not in a vacuum. This is a close collaboration between industry and stakeholders, regulators, patients, and so on and so forth. So the products of this project will support future policies and regulations on signal detection and pharmacovigilance. The products also, the recommendation will be a good start for a standard that will be consistent across industry, academia, and regulators. And finally, last but not least, this is a European project using experts from Europe, resources from Europe, data sources from Europe. This will also improve European competitiveness and contribution to European policies and initiatives. Next slide, please. Now, as you can see, this is not an easy project. This is complicated. We know that. We are very ambitious. So we will need public and private cross-sector collaboration. Data sources, there's so many with different structure, different system. AI, there's so many type of AI, machine learning, and so on and so forth. All of these to integrate diverse data sources, diverse methods, we will need a collaborative effort. We will need collaboration of expertise, different institutions from transversal fields, including data science, AI, pharmacovigilance. And we put real-world data, real-world evidence over here because that will be the key sources of here. Again, real-world data encompasses many things: spontaneous reports, electronic health records, laboratory data, registry, patient preference, and so on and so forth. We will need also collaboration with regulatory affairs because this is, again, this is very highly regulated field. So we need to have their feedback. And of course, clinical research expertise as well. Why? Because we could also use signal detection using clinical data. Our work using real-world data for signal detection will be intricately connected into the clinical work. We will need regulatory science and oversight with involvement from regulators. Now, in the past, we have regulators as board members, but we will also evaluate the possibility of regulators working directly with us in this project. So needless to say that this public-private partnership is ideal to bring all stakeholders from patients groups, from academics, industry, and regulators together. This is a large project, complicated project, and we will need significant resources and infrastructure that each and every one of us who participate here will have to contribute. Next slide, please. So these are the expected contributions to of the industry consortium. Now, this is not set in stone. You know, it may change as we go, but we will need a contribution in terms of AI and machine learning expertise. You know, when I said AI and machine learning, it includes other area that is related to AI as well: generative AI, NLP, deep learning, and so on and so forth. We are talking about signal detection. We are talking about pharmacovigilance. We're talking about signal detection, so we will need pharmacovigilance expert as well. We will use real-world data sources as the main sources for this evaluation. So we will need real-world data expert, including pharmacoepidemiologists. And the reason I said this is epidemiologists, real-world data is raw data outside from clinical trial. Real-world evidence is the evidence distilled from real-world data. Now, the science connecting the two, the main science is epidemiology, in this case, pharmacoepidemiology, and of course, other experts as well. So we will need pharmacoepidemiologists. We're talking about data, and it's important for us to preserve the confidentiality and the ethical aspects of it. So we will need expertise in ethics and data protection. We want this to have a great public health impact. So we will need healthcare data experts to maximize that impact. Now, we're talking about AI, we're talking about high technology and digital, so we will need also expertise and contribution on the IT and data management professionals. Next slide, please. So this is still comparable to the previous slide. So what are the contributions of the applicants? These are the expertise that we expected. We will need pharmacovigilance, epidemiology, real-world data, data science, AI, biostatistics expertise. For risk prediction, we will need risk modeling, assessment and management. We need data privacy and protection, ethics expert. We will need regulatory compliance framework. We will also need project management expertise with this very complex project. And the type of resources to provide if you participate in this project, that includes technological infrastructure in terms of high-performing computing and data storage solutions, and also access to data sources in compliance with GDPR. Again, that includes over here EHR, spontaneous report, medical literature, and so on and so forth. Now, I have a question. What is the focus of the data sources? These are the data sources that we want to include. So we cannot afford to focus too much on one and ignore the other. Next slide, please. So far, these are the key updates for you. Number one, we have pre-identified consortium members. We have 17 companies expressing that has expressed their commitment to participate. And again, Sanofi is the leader, but we're not working alone. These 16 other companies are instrumental in developing this topic text, and we look forward to work with all of them. So far, we have a 20 million euro budget in total that come from around 11.5 million in-kind contribution committed from these 17 companies, and also close to 9 million financial contribution from IHI itself. The duration, we plan to have it within 60 months. Let's see if we could finish it earlier, but we are comfortable that 60 months would be sufficient to achieve all of those deliverables. I think that's the end of my presentation, Natalie. So thank you so much. I will return the floor to you, and I guess the next step is discussions.
Yeah, thank you very much. And indeed, we will soon moving to the question and answer, and we start seeing quite a lot of questions coming into the chat. So we will certainly continue with that. But one thing before, it's really important that now that the call has started, that of course you shouldn't contact any of the topic writers. So here with JJ, any question will have to be through the applicant mailbox that you can see here on this slide. But before we go to the Q&A, we just wanted to remind you a couple of things that is important for you to prepare your proposal. Is that, as you know, the proposal is composed of two parts. One part is the administrative data, where you need to enter them in a web form through the funding and tender portal. Then we do have the part B, which is the narrative. And the narrative part is composed of three sections: excellence, impact, and quality and efficiency and the implementation. So that, for sure, at this stage is an outline of the implementation and work plan, since of course it will have to be further developed in the second stage with the pre-identified industry consortium. However, this is important to have this in mind, and the proposal will be evaluated along this criteria. So you need to read the instruction and the proposal template, because the proposal template, some of you may think, oh, it's the same as Horizon Europe. Well, actually, even if the structure is the same, we do have some specificities in terms of what we expect to see in some of the section due to the nature of IHI as a public-private partnership. So read them carefully. Even if we are at call 11, it's always good to read them carefully. And we do have an annex about the participant time. So that's exactly what I was saying before, is that the evaluation criteria mirror the structure of the proposal, meaning that the criterion will look at the excellence, so the clarity and pertinence of the objective, the soundness of the methodology, impact with the credibility of the pathway to achieve the expected outcome and impact, as well as the efficiency of the implementation. Of course, at this stage is an outline, but still we would like to see some elements to start understanding and for the evaluators to assess the quality of it. So now, couple of tips for the applicant. So this is not rocket science. The first thing is really please make sure to read all the relevant call material, especially the call topic. It's very important to read carefully what is really requested in the topic. We had this presentation where, of course, we highlighted really the main part, but please read the topic carefully if you want to apply it for this call to make the best chance on your side as the evaluator will be asked to assess the evaluation criteria vis-à-vis of the call topic. Now, you need to start your consortium early, but as well always think public-private partnership. So again, remember that in a two-stage call, the other half, and you have seen and heard from JJ that we have a number of companies who will join in the second stage. So always think that when you put together your short proposal, that it's not the end of it, since it will have to be developed, and it will have to be developed further with the pre-identified industry consortium. So ensure that all the information requested in the call topic text, as well in the template, etc., are well understood and follow, because, as I said, we will ask the experts to assess the proposal vis-à-vis of the evaluation criteria and against the call topic text, which is the reference. Now, I could consider and plan the potential impact, regulatory impact of the results. So obviously, this is typically a regulatory relevant topic. And I put here the link to our guide that we have put on our website to help applicants and consortia. But here, and this will answer already one of the questions that we have received in the chat, in the topic tag, it is clearly mentioned that the European Medicine Agency, so the EMA, is willing to join the winning consortium and the pre-identified industry consortium at stage 2. So that will be already an element that it's important for you to consider. So finding the project partners, so you need to join or to build a consortium. So again, there is no a magic recipe for that, but we do have some tools that may help you to build and to find partners. So we have first the EU funding and tenders portal partner search tool. You can, of course, get in touch with your IHI national contact point, network on the social media, and we could see already some networking as well in the chat today. So that's good to see already that there are some networking here. And then I leave the floor to Desmond. Maybe you would like to take this slide. You have to unmute yourself, Desmond.
Now everyone should be able to see and hear me now. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
So very quickly, I know the emphasis of the particular conversation we're having is on the science. So I'm just going to draw attention to a couple of specificities that we have in relation to Call 11 that we're just launching. So perhaps countering some of the previous calls, specifically 9 and 10 that IHI have done, there are specific eligibility funding restrictions for Call 11. So because we're talking here about Call 11 topic 3, you'll see on the right-hand side of this table that legal entities from the UK and Canada are not eligible to receive funding, neither are legal entities from Switzerland and South Korea. Now, the reason why we've highlighted these 4 countries is because these 4 countries are actually associated with the Horizon Europe program, and therefore there may be questions as to why they're not eligible for Call 11. For more information on this and other riveting legal information, I would refer you to the Rules and Procedures webinar that we're going to do on the 30th, which already has quite a high subscription, where we're really going to dig into detail on this. But I see in the list of questions that we've already received, there has been questions on eligibility, so maybe I'll talk more specifically about that particular eligibility when the question comes up. Thanks.
Thank you, Desmond. And now, Nassima, maybe I'll leave you the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Nathalie, and thank you, JJ, for your presentation. So before we move into the Q&A session, I just want to promote the webinars that we are holding on Call 11. So as you can see, we do have 4 other ones. So if you haven't registered already for this session, I would invite you to do so in our website through the event webpage. I can see that we have some few questions in, and I just want to emphasize that please drop your question, because this is really your only opportunity to get the information directly from the topic writer. As Nathalie said, apart from this webinar, you are not allowed to contact them directly. So we'll start with the first questions.
Yes, so maybe before we start, indeed, this is very important what you are saying, because it's clear that there might be already some question about the procedure and rules. But again, remember, there is a specific webinar. So as Nassima said, this is the only opportunity to have some direct questions through the chat to the topic writer. So please use this opportunity in order to get clarity as much as you want on the content and the science. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathalie. So the first question on the topic is, has the industry consortium identified a technology to drive health data harmonization to better enable the use of AI for PV signal detection?
So the question is, have I identified a technology company, correct, to deal with this?
I would say so, yeah.
No. Again, the objective of creating a topic text is to clearly state the objective, deliverable, scope, and so on and so forth. So we're not talking about any individual company or to participate or that will be needed. But we did mention in what we expect from participants is capability in IT and data management. So no, we're not contacting anybody for many reasons right now, because we're focusing on the objective deliverables, what we need to achieve. Now, I guess people could apply for this, those who have those capabilities.
Thank you. The next one is risk prediction for the product?
Yes, risk prediction will be part of the deliverables beside the signal detection.
Thank you. The next one is, can you give some examples of tools that you would like to have?
I cannot belabor on that. The tool, what has been published in the literature, includes NLP use for signal detection using social media. You have seen machine learning for certain risk prediction using different data sources. So I could mention what type of approaches to use that have been used. But as far as the tool itself, I cannot say anything here, and I think it's not wise to do so.
Thank you. Is there a disease focus, or can it be everything?
One of the objective is evaluate. Whatever method we develop, we need to test if it works. For that reason, we will use products, we will use disease, and so on and so forth. But we are not in a position to decide which products, which disease, and so on and so forth. That will be decided and evaluated later on, but we have a partner, public partner.
Thank you. Can you confirm again, please, what you mean by pre-competitive level?
I think this question for Nathalie.
Yeah. So again, we do have some definition, at least that we use in a previous school. But what we mean by pre-competitive is that we are not developing a single, let's say, tool that is for a direct commercialization. So we want to have a consortium working on delivering solutions that can be used by others and that can be implemented. But it's not a direct financing of one, let's say, one tool, one product that is to be on the market.
Thank you, Nathalie. Then we have, does the AAA criteria apply in this topic?
There's so many. Nathalie, go ahead, please.
Yes, no, it doesn't. This doesn't apply for this topic.
Maybe just as a lawyer, I would refer everyone to the actual topic text. It actually says at the bottom explicitly under dissemination obligations that 3A does not apply to this topic. So if in doubt, if you're looking at different topics, that's the section you always look at for 3A to see whether it applies or not for the topic.
Thank you. The next one is, do you also want to have integrations like voice to create new data streams?
Well, the term integration is broad. What we meant by databases over here is a network of different databases. But do we integrate different databases with different structure? Probably not. Probably we will have some kind of a model how to connect them, but not through the integration itself.
Thank you. So here we have a participant telling us that they create technology that can be enhanced by AI to be used to gather signals for pharmacovigilance. Does this qualify, or are you looking more for AI companies?
We are talking right now about the AI as a technology, methods, approaches, and there are many different types of AI. I mentioned to you before. You know, we will have more. We will need more time to discuss the generative AI, machine learning, NLP. We're talking about that now. If in the process during the project we found a good combination of different AI, machine learning, and we want to create the tool, that's the time when we will discuss that. But right now we are in the it's too early for us to see which tool, because tool mean what type of method you use. That method will have to be evaluated first. So that question should come later on.
Thank you. Someone else is asking, will the EMA databases be available for analysis?
Well, your draft vigilance is available for public, and keep in mind, we will use spontaneous report over here as part of, a vital key component of the project. So we're talking about your draft vigilance and other different type of data sources as well.
Maybe I can just add on this one that
yes, please.
If you look at the call topic text, so under the applicant consortium, it is mentioned that EMA provision include substantial and unique data access on expertise, as well as sharing experience of ongoing activities with national competent authorities exploring AI use cases in pharmacovigilance, because they do have as well some ongoing initiatives. So all that we will be part on availability with the consortium and sharing in the project.
Thank you. We don't have any more questions on the topic itself, but we do have some questions on rules and procedure. I will invite the attendees to register for the rules and procedure webinar that we will have next Monday. So it will be Monday morning. So you can register on our event webpage, and you'll get all the information by Desmond and one of another colleague, Alessandro. So yeah, I don't think we'll take them today, because this is a webinar dedicated only on the topic itself. I don't see any other new questions. Yeah, there is one.
Yeah.
So what level of validation is required? For example, are you expecting prospective validations?
Well, it depends on the, for risk prediction, yes. But for us, we cannot wait for 5-10 years to see what happened in the future. So this is what we have in mind for risk prediction. Let's say you have 10 years data. We will use the first 5 years to build the model. And then you will have the risk predicted from that 5 years. And then that 5 years result will be compared against the last 5 years. So that way, yes, it's the future, but not prospective that we have to wait for 5 years, right? So I hope that's clear. So we will use the type of validation retrospectively, using the first 5 against the next 5.
Thank you. Natalie is telling me that we might take one from the rules and procedure one.
Yeah, because I think there was maybe it was not clear from what I explained. The question is regarding the two-stage procedure. You mentioned highest ranking application will be merged with partners to prepare a deeper proposal. Can you explain what this means, please? What we say is that we have first the applicant consortia submitting short proposal that will be evaluated by experts. The experts will make the comments, the score, and the winning or the highest rank short proposal will be invited for the second stage. And in the second stage, there will be a merger with the pre-identified industry consortium, so led by JJ and with all the partners. there will be the elaboration on the full proposal. So therefore, it needs to be expanding in line with the template that and include a number of elements that needs to be put in the proposal in order to be again evaluated. And as I said, if everything goes well, then if successful, the proposal will go to the next level, which is to the preparation of the grant in order to have the project launch. So I hope this has a little bit clarified, but again, if you register to the rules and procedure webinar, this will be further explained.
Thank you, Nathalie. I'm going to take another question on the topic, and then we'll move to Desmond as he wants to address some questions as well. So how far out of the box our thinking regarding data is looking for signal in preclinical data out of scope?
No. So again, right now we want to cast a wider net in the beginning, at least in the whole process, including different data sources, real world data, or maybe clinical, preclinical, and so on and so forth. So we want to be as broad as possible, but keep in mind, this is a process. This is what we imagine will happen. First is landscaping of different data sources, different methods, AI methods that are the most promising, that has been proven, that there is a potential. And then there will be deeper evaluation as to which databases, which method to choose, to develop, to enhance. And then the third part will be testing. This is in the question, how do we test? We will use certain products, certain disease, and to see whether or not the combination of AI and data sources, whatever it be, is the best. So hope that clarifies, the breadth of the project.
Thank you. Desmond?
Yeah, so maybe just 2 quick points. Nassima, would you mind showing that table again? I just want to, because I see in the list of questions that we're going to refer to rules and procedures, there's quite a few there in relation to the UK. So as I had on that slide, which we presented a few minutes ago, if you are coming from the UK National Contact Point has specifically requested the UK applicants to contact the UK NCP, and they're going to help provide advice and guidance in relation to how to participate in this call 11, in which some of the topics aren't actually receiving funding. So we're just going to fly down here to the slide. Yeah, it's gone a bit slow, but the slides will be available afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So there it is. So right there at the bottom, the very last point of the slide, and you'll see the email address there for Joe Frost, who's the NCP. Yeah, now that there's a weird problem with the audio, is that better now? Yeah, okay. Now that we're back with normal audio, then I'm just going to maybe cover 2 points that I promised I'd cover from the questions as well. Someone was asking about the US NGOs. Are they eligible for this call and at which stage? Very quickly, we're going to really dig into this and we're going to have fun with this in the rules and procedures webinar, so I won't belabor the point, but anyone within reason, with a couple of exceptions, is eligible to participate in an IHI project. That's participation, you can get involved. And of course, the more expertise we want, the better, right? But that's different from eligible for funding. So, the slide here perfectly illustrates that. And legal entities from the UK, for 4 out of 5 topics, they're very eligible to participate, but they're not eligible to receive funding. So that's the difference. So US NGOs, US entities are very welcome to participate, but because the US is a third country for Horizon Europe, they cannot receive funding from IHI. And then in relation to which stage they should get involved in, the best way to do it, I mean, it depends, but generally what happens is they join one of the applicant consortia in the competitive first round, and then they participate as what's called an associated partner. We'll talk about that in the RMP next week. Then there's a couple of more pertinent questions that I should really address here now. First one is, could you please clarify if industrial partners from FPR and MedTech Europe should be part of the first stage consortium? So as you can see from the topic text, we have the pre-identified industry consortium there. So it is expected that the industry partners get involved. They're identified in the pre-identified industry consortium, and that pre-identified industry consortium, the advantage of having them there is that they take responsibility for the 45% in-kind threshold as well. So we would expect that any entities from FPR or MedTech would already be in the pre-identified industry consortium who are listed and identified in the topic text.
But maybe Desmond, just to clarify, of course, this is not to be in the applicant consortium as first stage. Again, the pre-identified industry consortium will join in the second stage. So this is really important to remember that, of course, you cannot form an applicant consortium at first stage with the pre-identified industry consortium, because again, all this industry listed under the topic will join at the second stage.
And then maybe one more question on the UK, and everything else we'll defer. There's a question here whether UK entities can be coordinators. The problem here is that to be a coordinator, you need to be a beneficiary. And to be a beneficiary, you have to be eligible for funding. So because the UK entities in this topic are not eligible to receive funding, they cannot be a beneficiary, therefore they cannot be a coordinator of the project. That's the most simple, most direct, and most honest answer I can give. That's fine from the legal side.
Thank you, Desmond. I don't see any new question on the topic. I think that we can close this webinar. I will say thank you very much to Nathalie, to Johari, Marie, and Desmond. Thank you all for your interest, and I wish you good luck with your proposal. Have a nice afternoon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.